Good morning, everybody. We're going to be working on Lesson 13, Module 1, 4th grade, and we're going to be working on page 97. Today, we're going to be using our place value chart, and we're going to be using standard algorithm in order to subtract. Standard algorithm is when we line up our numbers in place value, and we just subtract all the way down and unbundle when we need to. That's standard algorithm. Nothing special, just standard. So, let's get into it. Well, we are going to place the dots in our place value chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle this, and this is going to be in black ink, okay? So we're going to make those dots for 5 ones. Make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 ones, 2 tens, 5 hundreds, and 7 thousands. Perfect. Awesome, right? Fantastic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle our next number here, this 3,502, and now we're going to subtract. Now, if we have to unbundle because we cannot subtract, that is fine. I'll show you how to do that. So, we have 5 here, we have 2 here, we have 5 here, and 7. So 7,525. Now, what's really amazing is we're going to subtract 3,502. But we're going to start subtracting 2 in the ones place, right here, okay? So we're going to subtract 2. Let's subtract 2. 1, 2. So now, we subtracted 2, and that gives us 3. And we have 3 dots here, and that gives us 3. So see how I'm doing this? Perfect. Excellent. So now, we're going to subtract 0, okay? So 0, nothing happens, we have 2. We're going to subtract 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we get 0. So 2, 0. And finally, we're going to subtract 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. And that gives us 4. So this is what it should look like on your place value chart when we're using our place value chart and when we are subtracting. So this is our answer, 4,023. All right. So when we're using our place value chart, I want you to model. I want you to model this way in which we use place value charts to subtract. All right. Let's go on to B. Let's do one more. Let's practice and see what happens. Perfect. Okay, we're going to do the same thing where this number is going to represent our black ink and our dots. Sorry, it's just way too large. Perfect. Okay, 17,525. So let's put the dots. So we have 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 tens. 1, 2. And 5 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 7 thousands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And 1 10,000. Perfect. So this should look like this on our place value charts. We have 5 ones, 2 tens, 5 hundreds, 7 thousands, and 1 10,000. Okay, awesome. Now we are subtracting 13,502. So what we can do is we can put these we can put this underneath. Excellent. And we'll put a subtraction sign, and boom, awesome. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to work in each place value. So we're going to start with our ones place. So let's subtract 2 from our 1. So 1, 2, and that leaves us with 3. Awesome. We are going to subtract 0, so it's going to remain 2. Let's subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Awesome, that's 0. We are going to subtract 3 from this. Awesome. So 1, 2, 3. That gives us 4. And we're subtracting 1, and that gives us 0. We don't need to put a 0 because it just looks silly when we put a 0 at the end. So we don't need to put a 0. That's our answer. 4,023, same as our first. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is when we unbundle, when we can't subtract, when we don't have enough dots to subtract. So let's get into C. I'll work this one with you, and then I want you to do D, E, and F on your own, but you're going to check your answers. All right, let's get into it. All right, so same thing as before. I'm going to be working with 6,625. I'm going to be putting those dots in our place value chart. So those are going to represent our black dots. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 2 tens. We have 6 hundreds. And we have 6 thousands. Excellent. Perfect. I'm going to put 5, 2, 6, and 6 here. Awesome. Now, let's go into the red. So we are going to subtract 4,417. So we can place... So let's start by putting 7 ones underneath, 1 10 underneath, and 4 hundreds and 4 thousands. And we're going to subtract. Now, what you're going to see here is that we do not have enough dots in this section here. We have 5, but we need to subtract 7. I don't have enough dots here. So what do? Well, we have to unbundle from the tens. This little dot, we got to unbundle. And we're going to create 10 more ones, because we're going to take this 110 and break it into 10 ones, which makes total sense. So let's do that. We're going to unbundle, and we're going to move it over here. And now I'm going to make 10 more ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I tried my best here to make them all put together. So now that we have enough, and this 2 changes to a 1, right? Because now we only have one more dot. We only have one dot in here. So now we can subtract. So let's subtract. We're going to subtract 7, right? We're going to subtract 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. What does that leave us? Well, that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. So on your standard algorithm down here, what it looks like is, so I'm working down here on this problem now. What it looks like when we unbundle, I can't subtract from the ones place. So I have to unbundle this 2 to make it a 1. And now instead of 5 ones, we have 15 ones. And 15 subtract 7 is indeed 8. And from the tens, we subtract 1, we have 0 now. 1 subtract 1, we have 0 now. And now I'm in the hundreds, so I'm subtracting 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That leaves us with 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves us with 2. 2, and that is our answer. Okay? So that's how we unbundle when we can't subtract. I showed you on the place value chart, and I showed you in standard algorithm. So what I'd like for you to do is I want you to try D, E, and F on your own, and what I'll do is I'll show you some of those problems so that you can check your answer. So I want you to work on your own with D, E, F. So pause the video, and then I'll show you D, I'll show you E, and then from there, you are going to do the rest on your own, and I'll collect it for your exit ticket. All right, so you should have paused. You should have worked on D, E, and F the best you could. And we'll go over D, E, and we might go over F if I have enough time. So let's go over D. Let's still use our place value chart in order for us to solve. Make those lines. And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to use my black ink to represent 4,625. Okay, so I'm going to put the dots. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 tens, 1, 2, 600s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4 thousands. Cool. And now I'm going to put the digits underneath. Perfect. 4,625. We are subtracting 435. All right. And what you're going to see really quickly is we're going to be able to subtract with the ones place. We're able to subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and get 0. But in the tens, we have 2 tens, but they want us to subtract 3. We don't have enough, so we have to unbundle from the next place value. So I'm going to unbundle this little dot, and this, I'm going to take 100, and I'm going to take 10 tens from that. Boom. I'm going to make 10 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so from here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to subtract 1 and bring 10 tens over, so this makes it 12 tens. 12 tens, okay? So now, I do have enough in my tens place. I am going to subtract 3 tens. So 1 10, 2 tens, and 3 tens. That leaves us with 9 tens. 9 tens. And now instead of 600s, I actually have 500s in here. So now I'm going to subtract 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That leaves us with 100. And then the 4 just comes on down, and there's our answer. So 4,190. So you should have gotten 4,190 for D. All right, let's continue with E. So remember, you're going to check your answer. You should have already done this. So 6,500, we are going to place dots. So we actually have 0 in the ones, 0 in the tens, 5 in the hundreds, and 6 in the thousands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That leaves us with 0. 0, 0, 5, 6. All right, 6,500. Perfect. We are subtracting 470. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to work with the place value and the standard algorithm together. So 0 subtract 0 is 0. 0 to subtract 7. So actually, this is really curious. I have nothing here. I got 0 dots here. I can't subtract anything, so we definitely have to unbundle from the hundreds to make 10 tens, okay? So here I'm going to unbundle, boom, and now I have 10 tens. Awesome. So now this is 4, okay? So here, this is 4, and now this is 10 tens, okay? So now we can subtract. I'm going to take 7 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That leaves me with 3. 3. And now I'm going to subtract 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That leaves me with 0. And you bring the 6 down. And there we go. 6,003. All right, that's all we're going to do today. I'm going to check F, G, H, and J to see how you did as your exit ticket. I'll be collecting that and just assessing to see how you're doing with the subtraction and the place value. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson today, and we're probably going to do more in future lessons. So have a great day.